Okay, everybody, today's video is going to be sort of like a part two to the modern day woman video, right? Bear with me, I'm going to see if I can get through this. If it don't get posted, this is just a rough draft, okay? All of them be a rough draft, tell you the truth. But anyway, today's topic is traditional woman versus modern day woman, right? By now, we can all pretty much agree and or come to the conclusion that we as women can sometimes be pretty darn catty with one another at times, right? Okay. But lately, I've recognized that there's one other thing which involves this topic that has, let's just say, gotten some women's panties in a bunch. Now, let's check out the definition for this, which I have extracted from the Urban Dictionary collection today to use as a reference, which reads panties in a bunch. When someone who acts in an anal retentive manner to decide to make a fuss, basically over relatively nothing. Okay? Okay, now let's go back in history for a minute. Back in the day, there were many wars that were rated senseless in the eyes of some people, right? And once again, while doing my search, I have found a particular list of six, which Google has so graciously provided, which will be, which I'll be sharing with you guys today, right? Just a few of them. All right, number one was the pig war. It was said that it was the war that started all over a slaughtered pig, right? Okay, number two was the Nika riot. The Nika riot was said to have started when the streets of Constantinople were flooded and damaged by angry sport fans over chariot races, right? Okay, number three, the War of the Stray Dog. This war was said to have started when a soldier accidentally crossed over into uncharted territories while chasing a stray dog, which caused him to be shot, which as a result caused a huge upset between um, two already feuding, the two already feuding Greece and Bulgaria, right? Okay, I'm going to read y'all this fourth one. I'm not going to do all six, but I'm going to read y'all this fourth one called the Jenkins Ear War. In this war, a man named Jenkins presented his decomposing severed ear, which had been cut off by a Coast Guard officer for allegedly smuggling, which later became a catalyst for a war between an already feuding Britain and Spain, right? Now, there were also two other ones, which was called the Toledo War and the Pastry War. And, I'm not going to get into all that, but I'm quite sure that there were many that followed that we could say or that could be classified as a senseless war. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to get into all that right now, but we do know that a lot of wars can have good purpose. Well, now I'm not going to say good purposes, have their purposes, but some wars can be just basically senseless, really. Okay? All right. So, all right. And I'm going to tell y'all to be quite honest with y'all. I don't know about that Jenkins ear thing because, with all due respect, if somebody had cut off my damn ear, I would imagine that I myself would also have been in a oh hell no, everybody got to go mode as well, right? Justifiably so. Anyway, that's neither here or there now. So, let me take this time to continue on with my point. Anyway, I said all that to say to my ladies out there, stop falling for the okey doke, okay? And what's the okey doke, you might ask? Well, in this case, it is when women have allowed some highly opinionated man who is probably in most cases only semi healed himself to strategically conjure up or orchestrate a mischievous plan which seems to put women in some form of war, beef, competition with one another. These beefs could be based on looks, weight, height, hair type, colorism, and of both lethal and perhaps non lethal levels of injection, right? I mean, it's bad enough that they do this to us. But, ladies, if we begin to continue to do this to one another, it only makes us all look bad. Anyway, the reason that I'm speaking on this today is because I recently ran across a video of a woman who had stated that the only reason why some women do traditional things still today was to somehow be more appealing to males so that they would most likely be the one to be chosen. As I thought to myself, could she possibly be insinuating that the traditional women are weak? Well, I have had the chance to be on both sides of the fence somewhat and just know that neither version seemed to outshine the other. Because at the end of the day, it simply depends on the individual. When I was originally in traditional mode, it didn't feel like a chore or duty to me because it was mostly done willingly because of the love I had for my family, especially since I was defined as what some would call a natural nurturer. And yes, I may have sweated in a hot kitchen for hours on a hot summer day just to come up with the perfect meal plan to later fill up everyone's belly, but it was my pleasure to do it, just to see everyone happy in that moment, because that was just the way, in my eyes, I expressed my love to my family, right? And even later, when I worked two jobs, I still managed to cook, clean, and take care of my kids, etc., etc. I mean, the list could go on, because we all know that a truly devoted mother and or wife is one who often wears many hats within the household. We are chefs, we are mediators, we are nurses, doctors, referees, housekeepers, therapists, chauffeurs, you name it, we do it. So I find it hard to see the weakness in any of that. Hell, even Oprah once stated that in her opinion, that was the even Oprah once stated that in her opinion, that was the hardest job that she felt that anyone could have. And let me just say that realistically speaking, I may have had moments when I too may have gotten a bit tired, but I still managed because at the end of the day, like I said, that was still all a part of me, which I still hoped would not only nurture my family, but also show them just how much I truly love, treasure, and enjoy them, right? So the bottom line is, it's nothing wrong with that. And if a man is lucky enough to have a woman like that, then he will also be included in that and honored as such. But unfortunately, the mistake is made when a man begins to feel like it is what you are required to do, as if you are only there to serve him instead of being equally happy, honored, and lucky to have you. Just as you have displayed by your actions how lucky you are to also have him. But instead, he sometimes ends up getting blindsided and wrapped up in his own homemade household politics of leadership, makeshift facets, seniorities, and self righteous, poofed up ego that is in return allows him to drift off into his own little imaginary world of power. And suddenly he becomes full of himself, as he now has even forgotten how to be human, as he slowly begins to overshadow his ability to love, care, or in some cases even feel for his own woman. And now not only does he no longer feel, but now he can't even seem to see past his own BS, nor does he acknowledge the error of his own ways. And now the word change has also become a euphemism as he continues on with the process of crowning himself as he becomes stuck in his own vanity while still sitting high up on his throne as he turns his nose up while continuously, consciously identifying his woman as some sort of servant, fool, or somewhat of a court gesture as he again ignores every hint of upcoming destruction purposely due to his own hidden shortcomings instead of reconstructing that what once could have been a effing masterpiece, right? So instead of reconstructing it, he doesn't even pay attention to the signs of destruction that's coming, right? Okay, so as we as women then sit back and wonder if perhaps maybe no one ever informed him of the real reason why beside every good king sits his queen. Ooh, I'm telling y'all, that was one heck of a run-on sentence, wasn't it? I guess I may have gotten a little carried away. Maybe I had a little mini flashback or something, right? My bad. But also, let us not forget that this can work both ways, because some women can be just as bad, or sometimes even worse, right? But we ain't talking about us today, right? Anyway, somehow in this moment, I'm reminded of a humorous plaque that hung in my mother's kitchen for many years, which was posted high up on a wall just to the left of the stove for everyone to see, which read, Pa is boss, as everyone knows, but what Mom says always goes. Now, that was just a quick memory of mine, I wanted to share with y'all, but how about we also take this time out to remember the position of the queen on a chessboard when playing a game of chess, right? Notice how, although the king is the most powerful piece in the game, the queen is considered to be the most powerful attacking piece on the board. who is somehow mysteriously designed to make all of the bold moves for her king, as she is somehow maneuvered as almost a possible sacrifice. If you're not such much of a strategic player, right? And although sacrifice can be such a harsh word, just know that the king would truly lose without her on his side, for she is very conducive to not only his success, but also his victory, right? And for one last example, let's now imagine that we are all now slow dancing to the oldies but goodies song of the late great James Brown, which was titled This Is a Man's World. Then he begins to yell out, as he begins to yell out loudly over the loudspeaker as if he has somehow discovered a hidden message for today's men, as he finishes off by saying that it would be nothing, nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. Which brings me to my next question. Could y'all men really imagine a world without women? No, you can't. Because your ass probably wouldn't even be here. Not unless some smart aleck decide to invent a procreation machine by infusing wombs of a sheep in some way or something like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to put cases on all of y'all. And I'm calling Peter, right? Think I'm playing. Because y'all know Peter don't play around. Peter be popping up everywhere, right? Anyway, if you have a good woman on your team, cherish her and vice versa. Because in no way is this a message meant to intentionally bash men. Because let's be fair, there are some good ones still out there. And sure, it might make you feel like you're playing a game of Find Pikachu, but they're out there. And just know that even when it comes to ones who don't know any better, sometimes you have to simply visualize them in the same position as the actor Tyrese Gibson in the movie Baby Boy, when he portrayed a grown ass man still curled up in the fetal position as he rested quietly in his mother's womb while secretly still holding on to the memory of once being nurtured. Well, anyway, back to my women out there. Stop making everything about a competition and stop attacking one another. Because in actuality, my dear sisters, that is what truly makes us all really look weak. And ain't nobody no damn show ponies out here. So y'all stop talking about who's choosing who stuff and like y'all waiting for somebody to pick y'all to be on their damn volleyball team or something. And all anxiously just waiting around secretly to see who will eventually be the ultimate choice / new sacrifice. Which others tend to give some people, quote unquote, way too much power. That's what we do. We're giving away way too much power. And we still sit and wonder why they call us, well, we wonder why they are the way they are, right? And for those species of our own kind who insist on mocking the traditional woman, just think about it. If it didn't bother you and you had sincerely chosen yourself intentionally, as you say that you have, this would haven't even been a topic of discussion. Because we are all great. So stop sneak dissing. Damn it, Wakanda forever. Damn it. I'm just saying, you know how I get when you get to the end and you get stuck and you don't really know how you want to close out a draining topic read. You know what I'm saying? You just yell out anything in hopes that everything will somehow be okay, right? Just look at it this way. Hopefully, yelling out Wakanda forever, that helped release some positive energy back into the atmosphere, right? Okay? But on a serious note, ladies, y'all, cut it out, okay? Thank y'all for listening to another opinionated read by JP Free. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye. Okay. Oh shoot. Let me turn it off.